Okay, so we're just about finished with the basics of this products app. There are definitely still things that we need to cover, such as the other parts of CRUD, like update and delete. But really, we've been focusing so much on, and also create actually. We've been focusing so much on the view of the products because that's actually what's most important. We want to make sure that our users can see this stuff. I can do the other parts of CRUD in the Django admin as the administrator of the site, right? I don't need to worry about those things until later. If you started doing user-generated content, that is user-generated products or whatever, then you might start doing CRUD. But one thing I have noticed, and you probably have noticed as well, is our URLs, well, they're getting kind of full, right? There's actually a lot of URLs going on in here, and there's some things that we're just not going to use anymore. So I'm actually going to go ahead and change how our URLs work from being this main thing here with all these imports to being in one spot that is on products. So I'm going to go ahead and come in here and say urls.py, urls.py. I'm going to just copy the original one, bring it in here, and I'm going to delete some stuff. So delete those comments there. We don't need settings and static. We also don't need the admin. Oops. We don't need this. Okay, and I can do a relative import now because it's in urls.py. I also don't need these views, and I don't need this. Okay, so let's only keep the things that are related to the product, and that's this stuff right here. So featured product list, that's actually something we're not really going to use in this fashion. We will still probably use featured products somewhere, but we won't have a whole list for those featured. The products are always going to be in the product list view. So the things that we want to keep are literally the product list view and the product detail slug view. Everything else, gone. We don't need it anymore. We're well beyond these things. So I'm going to just go ahead and delete everything that isn't those two imports above. And these are now our product lists. This is our product app in of itself. This is the entire product component. So what I can do is I can actually use these URLs in here, right? So instead of having all those same URLs, I can comment them out because, again, not going to use them, and I can comment out the import. I'll leave these commented out items in here at least a little while longer so you can use them as reference. And I'll also add in something called include. So what this means is I'm going to use something much like the admin site. I'm going to grab the products one, put it above here, get rid of this $sign at the end there, and we'll just say include, and this is going to be our app, products.urls. That's it. I save that. I save URLs. I go in here. Products t-shirt is not seeming to work. That's because in our product URLs, notice how it's doing the lookup. It's looking products. We no longer need these. I can just get rid of that portion of products. Save that, refresh. Now we've got products t-shirt working as well as products. Okay, so our URLs look a little bit better. But how do we actually navigate to where we need to go, like to the detail? That is actually pretty simple. We're going to skip doing all the ways you can do it and just show you the best way we can do it now, or the way for the future right now. And we're going to make on our model a method called getAbsolute URL. And all we're going to do here is return a string, and that's going to be products, and then our slug. So we'll do .format slug equals to self.slug. And we'll put that trailing slash there. This will give us that URL. This is actually going to bring back that, basically. So in our list view, I can literally do href equals to object or obj.get absolute URL. And complete off that anchor tag. We save it. And now I can actually navigate to my items. Cool. And Now, of course, that navigation portion didn't rely on the URLs themselves where they were, but this is definitely more user-friendly than what we had. I'm actually going to leave these uncommented. This is exactly how we want it to be now. I'll leave this stuff in here as reference. Now, there is one more thing, is you can actually make this even more effective of a call using something called reverse. We're not going to cover that yet, but it is something that we will eventually change. But this is actually built for it later. Since I did do that, I want to show you that, of course, you can come in here and just say, this is the path, so products, object.slug. You could absolutely put that in here. But the problem is that Django has this as a convention. So get absolute URL is a convention for Django. It's used elsewhere is what I mean. But also it's just more convenient. So if I need to change how these URLs come out, I could just go to one place to do it, right? You might imagine, yeah, I might actually end up using a link to one product thousands of times on my site. So that's another thing that's fairly important to consider when you're thinking about how to link stuff. Definitely follow this way. And I will say that I tell you these things not because you have to do them. I tell you because it just makes your life a lot easier. You don't have to design a lot of these things this way. You can really start to build your own site in the confines of Django. You can change everything. I mean, like, it's Python, so as long as you know how to write it and adapt and change things, you can totally do whatever you like. It's just there's so many convenient ways of using the conventions. That is why I do it, and that's why so many other developers do it, and that's probably one of the many reasons that Django is so successful. Okay, so that's it for the products component at this time. Yes, we have a lot more to do with products. This is kind of scratching the surface just a little bit. But it is, the purpose of this was to really just get you up to date with making your products actually work. So if you have any questions on this section, please let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.